If you're receiving this transmission, you are the resistance, declaring war on the New World Order. TruthRadioShow.com. And welcome to the Dan Bidondi Show on TruthRadioShow.com. So, guys, I got a dire warning for you all out there. September 11th, 2023 coming up here, guys. So, before we begin, I want to go on record right now to tell you I am not a psychic nor a prophet. So, please understand that, right? I'm not making a 100% prediction, but what I'm here is making a bold claim, yes, but I'm going to back it up with proof by writings on the wall. And what I mean by that, guys, on September 11th of 2023 coming up, and it's also the anniversary as the 9/11, September 11th attack at World Trade Center in New York City, and many other things that people are not really accustomed and aware about. So I'm going to point the stuff out, guys, and again, I'm not a psychic or prophet. I'm going to say it one more time. And I'm just saying, by the writings on the wall, guys, knowing how the New World Order, the elite work, okay, something's going to happen, right? And I hope to pray to God September 12th that you all can come back on here and say, Dan Bidondi, you were wrong, and I'll be happy to be wrong. And I urge you to pray to Jesus, to ask Jesus Christ to intervene with the New World Order's plans to stop this from happening. Now, again, the New World Order is no longer a conspiracy. It is now out in the open, being promoted and glorified now. So no longer we're known as conspiracy theorists. We were just telling the truth the whole time. So if you still think the New World Order is a conspiracy, you know what? Just shut this off because you're still living in the clouds. Plain and simple. So the New World Order, who are they? They're the world's elite, right? These people serve Satan himself. Yes, they serve exactly Satan. And in the Bible, this is called the tribulation, where Satan gets a short amount of time and his power has full power on this world, right? And we're going to get a little more into that later in the video here. So I just want to point this out, right? These people are the ones who run the planet. And most of these people are behind the shadows, people that you don't even know of or nor ever see. Now you got presidents and prime ministers and everything else. These are people nothing more than puppets. They're the front men of the New World Order. So the New World Order consists of the Illuminati, world banking cartels, and everything else, guys. So it's a long list. So that's who they are. So what has this got to do with anything? We'll show you, right? So I want to point this out, right? Every 11 years, and this is basic astronomy, right? There's a thing called a solar maximum, right? What is a solar maximum? Every 11 years, and keep yourself reminded every 11 years, right? It's very synonymous with this video, that the sun's magnetic cycle ramps up into overdrive, and at the height of the cycle, known as the solar maximum, the sun's magnetic poles flip. Now, what in the heck does it got to do with anything? You may be asking yourself, right? What has it got to do with 9/11 and all that? We're going to get to that, right? I want to point this out, and the reason why I mentioned the Luciferian elite for guys, because at the top levels, in the Illuminati into high levels of Satanism, they do certain rituals on dates, and specifically, mostly on astrological dates. Understand this. Now, even in the Bible, there's certain things that happen on astrological things, such as in Genesis, it tells you to look for the stars in the skies, right? The signs and prophecies. Now, the elite, Lucifer himself, Satan, I'm sorry, he does everything perverted image, mirror image thing with God. So they also use the astrological events for their rituals. That being said, guys, every 11 years, this is a major ritual that's gone on for thousands of years. Now, I want to point this out, and I'm just going to point out recent history, because we don't have time to keep going back and back and back and back, right? So you're going to know something in history, and very synonymous with 9/11, September 11th, every 11 years, right? So we'll start off, right? September 11th, 1990, first George Bush, right? The old man Bush was president of the United States, right? He went on record to declare a new world order. Then he did it again 1 year later to the day. But we're going to go with this here. September 11th of 1990, right? This is George Bush's speech.
To forge for ourselves.
Let me reset that here.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be. We have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders. We have before us...
So, guys, you got to understand, too, right? Now you heard that, right? Going back to the New World Order real quick, right? These elitists operate on a certain philosophy. It's called the Hegelian dialect. Order out of chaos. It's also a problem, reaction, solution, right? So basically, they present the order to the public. Public says no, because it requires giving up rights and all this stuff. Public says no. So what they'll do is they'll create the chaos, the problem, right? It'll be manufactured or allowed to happen. So now, so out of the reaction of the public, they willingly accept or beg for a new world order, or the agenda that was supposed to be pushing ahead of time. So the world elite, they have to push things by increment steps, right? And again, they go according to these satanic rituals at the top. I'm not talking about the Church of Satan and anything like that. No, I'm talking about the elite, the head elite that will actually believe in Satan, and they're minions of Satan, literally. And they're controlled by principalities and everything else, the spiritual warfare. So they have to go according to these astrological dates. Now, that being said, right, September 11th, 1990, George Bush declared a new world order, right? What happened September 11th? What happened in 1990? The first Gulf War was launched, right? A 42-country coalition led by the United States to go after Iraq, right? And the war was August 2nd of 1990, right? When the public found this out, right, they didn't want nothing to do with it. So 19 September, right, to further push this along, get full public support, George Bush comes out with a speech and all this propaganda by saying that babies were being killed in incubators. It was all lies. People testifying before Congress saying babies will be killed in incubators. They had weapons of mass destruction. They had no such thing. Actually, the weapons came later. But anyway, we'll show you. So what has it got to do with anything? We're going to show you, right? So keep in track, right? Remember, every 11 years? So September 11th, 1990, right? George Bush declared New World Order, right? So 11 years later, to the day, his son, okay, was president. George Bush Jr., there, if you want to call him that, right? So this is what happened September 11th.
What came down? The crash. The other trade center's down. It's down. It's down.
So what happened here, you should know, the World Trade Center was attacked in New York City. 2 planes hit the towers, one each. One allegedly hit the Pentagon, which that's up for debate. And one crashed, supposedly, in Pennsylvania. But it was, a lot of people believe it was shot down. And I believe it was an inside job. But regardless, right? This, what I believe was a stage event, and some people believe it was a real attack. But regardless, this did happen, right? This did happen. People died, and still to this day are dying from it. So 11 years to the day, we have an attack, right? What's the first thing they're doing? It's pushing globalism. Right out of the gate, they launched naked body scanners in the airports, intrusive naked body scanners, people getting patted down, molested at airports, train stations and everywhere else, right? Violating your civil liberties out of all this, right? To go after a boogeyman called Osama bin Laden. Now, yes, he's a boogeyman. He was a live person, absolutely. But the thing is, people don't understand the 10-year war between Afghanistan and Russia. The CIA implanted Timothy, which his name is Timothy Osman. His covert name is Timothy Osman, Osama bin Laden. The CIA funded and gave him all the weapons and money he needed to create the Al-Qaeda. Let's just get tongue-tied there. Al-Qaeda, right? And then later on, they use his boogeymen, terrorists, right? They're blamed with the World Trade Center attack that bin Laden and his crew, we were well trained and pulled off this operation. So again, that's up for debate because I don't believe that happened. I believe it was an inside job, but regardless, right? So what came out of this? What came out of this whole 9/11? More wars in the Middle East, which is unconstitutional. More subversion on top of your civil liberties. Again, naked body scanners, the Patriot Act, which is nothing patriotic about it at all. The National Defense Authorization Act that came out of this, stripping American citizens of their due process rights. They could come detain you without a warrant and hold you long as they want and all that. If they declare you a terrorist or something like that, yes. Completely stripping the American citizens of their sovereignty rights. Pushing more unconstitutional wars, billions of dollars more and more, thousands more lives lost in these wars. And further pushing the idea of a global government. As Bush said in the first video we showed you, a credible New World Order, which is nothing credible, a credible United Nations, which is nothing credible about them. They're tyrants. So it's a divide and conquer scheme, guys. And none of these countries ever posed a threat to our civil liberties here in America, our national sovereignty. So what's going on here, right? So the point is here, September 11th, 1990, right? New World Order was declared to push these wars, right? 1990, September 11th, right? I'm sorry, it's 2001, 11 years to the day. Our country gets attacked. Now, regardless of inside job or not, whatever the case, it still got attacked, right? Resulted in civil liberties being lost, more constitutional laws, wars being pushed, and more globalism, right? So, 11 years to the day, people forgot about this one. On September 11th of 2012, you remember the Mayan calendar, December 24th? That was the cover-up, okay? And the thing is, what they'll do is they'll put dumb things out there to overshadow things, right? So everybody was waiting. September 12th, right? We all heard December 24th that the Mayans predicted the end of the world. I knew that was a bunch of crap. You did, I did, we all did, right? But it would overshadow things to come because everybody's sitting there waiting for December 24th to come. But without they were overshadowing us, right? So September 11th came around, which is, again, 11 years to the day of 2001, which was 11 years to the day of 1990, right? September 11th, right? This happened.
September 11th. In America, a day of solemn remembrance. In 2012, a day of violence in the Middle East. Demonstrators stormed the U.S. Embassy in Cairo, angry over a low-rent film made in the U.S. that mocks the Prophet Muhammad. In neighboring Libya, Ambassador Christopher Stevens is in Benghazi, a city known for upheaval.
So that gentleman you just seen here and two other Americans were killed in this attack, right? Now, here's the thing. When this went on, this is all on record. I have a friend who was actually stationed over there in the military. They were getting ready to go rescue these guys, and they were told to stand down by Hillary Clinton herself and people of the State Department. Told to stand down, and if they left the base, they would be arrested. This legit happened. Our government allowed these 3 Americans to be killed. Now, what came out of this? September 11th of 2012 here, right? It was the creation of ISIS because the American public was starting to become aware of the CIA created, which they brag about now. They created Al-Qaeda, right? That's what they call Al-CIA Qaeda. Right? So they're becoming aware of this boogeyman terrorism, so they need to keep the fear in the American public's hearts of terrorism. So what came out of this? The birth of ISIS. If you see right here, you got John McCain and you got pictures of other politicians here in America sitting there taking pictures with the ISIS leaders. The very people that was in charge of attacking this embassy and killing 3 of our American citizens there, a couple of ambassadors and all that. And again, our military was told to stand down, not go rescue these guys. Their bodies were dragged through the streets and made mockery of. And it was all coordinated by the CIA. And the CIA was caught dumping weapons and everything they needed to ISIS people. Right? So this is not a conspiracy. So I'm just trying to put the ratings on the wall for you guys, okay? And why I'm sitting here, it's like not a prediction, okay? It could be a spoiler, right? So all this has to do with anything I'm trying to tell you about, guys? The ratings on the wall, and I'm going to recap this one more time. September 11th, 1990, right? It was a New World Order declared. 11 years to the day, we had the World Trade Center attack, right? Which completely changed the whole shape of this country. 11 years to the day of that, September 11th of 2012, the Benghazi attack, which was the birth of ISIS, and more unconstitutional wars in the Middle East, and more stripping of your civil liberties, right? And more pushing of globalism and everything else, right? So what's going to go on now, the big question I'm going to ask you right here, right? We got September 11th, 2023 coming up, right? That's next week. I'm recording this video on September 7th, okay, of 2023. So what is going to happen next week? In 5 days from now, or 4 days, I'm sorry, what's going to happen 4 days from now? Is there going to be another attack? Are they going to use a nuclear bomb and blame Russia? Or are they going to push this whole country to bankruptcy, right? Collapse the economy so they can push their fascist digital currency that they've been talking about? There could be many, many things, guys, and I'm going to say it one more time, as I did in the beginning of the video. I am no prophet, nor am I a psychic. But I'm telling you right now, because of the writings on the wall, and I'm boldly going to state that something may, very much may happen coming up September 11th. And here's the thing. Remember I told you about 2012 was being overshadowed by the Mayan calendar thing? Well, guess what? This year, because of major astrological events going to happen on September 23rd, right? Major events are going to happen, right? And the end of the month is full of them, right? So many false ministries out there are saying that the rapture is going to happen. The coming of Jesus Christ to get us, right? On September 23rd, when the Bible says no, it happens after the tribulation. And some people think this is the start of the tribulation. And it's also the time for the atonement and all the biblical feast time, right? So with the astrological things happening, and then even the New Ages are saying this is going to be a cosmic shift. We're going to move into a new age and everything else, a great awakening, right? They're all predicting all this stuff happening about September 23rd, right? So that is overshadowing 9/11. Nobody's even talking about 9/11. That's overshadowing it, just like it's back in 2012. The Mayan thing overshadowed 9/11, right? So what is going to happen this coming Monday, guys? What is going to happen? Again, it could be anything to push along the New World Order agenda. And why would they have a nuclear bomb go off and blame Russia for it? Because it's complete lockdown in this country and complete stripping of your civil liberties. They've already instituted from 9/11, back in 2001, the Patriot Act, the National Defense Authorization Act, where they think they can suspend the Constitution. Technically, they can't, but they believe they can with these unconstitutional things, which is repugnant to the Constitution, and the Constitution trumps any law. But regardless, right, they have the plans already set to do this stuff, guys. So coming this 9/11, if you see something catastrophic happen, it's going to be a world-changing event like the last several 9/11s on the 11 years, right? Every 11 years. Catastrophic things that had a major recourse to this country and perhaps the world. So what is going to happen this coming Monday? And here's the thing. I said, we got to pray so that God, Heavenly Father, and Jesus Christ intervene with this to stop this. But again, the elite work off of astrological dates for their rituals. So every 11 years to the day, and since Benghazi now, 11 years to the day, this year, okay, which in 4 days here, coming up, is something going to happen. And here's my thing, guys. I hope and pray, and I want you to do this, right? I hope and pray that when September 12th comes around, Tuesday, right, when that rolls around, I hope and pray that every single one of you come on this video again to say, Dan Bidondi, you were wrong. And I would put a heart there to thank you for that. And again, I'm not saying this is that definite. I'm just showing you the writings on the wall. You make the choice for yourself, guys. One more time. September 11th, 1990, New World Order. September 11th, 2001, the World Trade Center attack. September 11th, 2012, Benghazi, the birth of ISIS and all that. And again, the question is, what's going to happen this year? 11 years to the day. So I'm not trying to scare anybody, because remember, if you're believing Jesus, you should not be scared of any of this. But because of the writings on the wall, knowing how the New World Order work, okay, the elite work, okay, and I'm sure they've already got something planned, and I pray that God intervenes to stop it. But if something happens, be assured it was planned that way. Yes, the United States government, the people who have in the White House today, guys, the people in the United Nations and all that, the World Economic Forum, all right, the Bill Gates and all these people, Klaus Schwab and President Biden, Zelensky and all them, be assured that they're the ones who staged this or allowed it to happen, and it was planned that way. Regardless of whatever happens on September 11th, whatever it is, nuclear bomb, stock market crash, or whatever the case happens, right? Remember, it was planned that way. And I pray to God I'm wrong. So sorry to repeat myself, guys. I just have to emphasize these things. So check out my website, TruthRadioShow.com. It's all our shows, our spiritual warfare shows, our news shows. It's a Breaking the World Order show. And our Spiritual Warfare Friday shows we got all kinds of cool things going on. Exclusive documentaries, Bible series we got, and all kinds of things. And brother affiliations, shows like Visual Disturbance, Course Correction Radio, Nicey TV, FOJCRadio, and more. So please check them out, guys. And thank you for tuning in to the TruthRadioShow.com. And this is your host, Dan Bidondi. And again, I hope and pray that you guys come back September 12th to say nothing happened. I hope and pray that that's the truth. But if it does, guys, again, be assured it's planned that way. So don't say you haven't been warned. God bless.